it takes it from the I need to understand how platforms work to I just need to know how my business works.
Hi there and welcome to From Ideas Results. I'm joined by Chris, who is our Director of Data and Insight here at Sleeping Giant Media, and we're going to be diving into the topic of all the things that are happening in the world of data and a lot of AI conversations that are having at the moment. So can you just give us some insights and overview of some of the key points, key takeaways when it comes to data and specifically the impact AI is having on data?
So AI, it is disruptive, it's changing everything. Everything is now controlled by AI, and really the name of the game is feeding AI with as much data as you possibly can. So a lot of the foundations that we talk about a lot are still really key. Get as much observed data as you possibly can, feed the data, feed the model with model data as well. So that would be consent mode, so it's still receiving hits when people have opted out, enhanced conversions to try and fill some of that gap when cookies fail or people are moving across devices. So those, what are now foundations, are still very key, but there's also so much else that you can now do. So AI models that will help with analysis, AI tools that are built into the platforms, and using those as much as possible is really key.
So in summary, we're saying that we've lost some of the potentially that sort of more granular data that we used to sort of access and be able to use to navigate that. Now it's about getting good quality data and lots of it, and using AI to then help you find trends, analysis, insight, and ultimately help improve decision making through that larger data set. Okay, so in terms of kind of where we're at now, what other things are we seeing from AI? What's it sort of impacting around the kind of the performance that you're seeing for clients, and subsequently what we then can do to try to help improve that performance?
So I think on the performance side, there's lots of really interesting new targeting options using first-party data to build their audiences, those smart bidding strategies in platforms like Google, but most platforms have an equivalent of them now, really helping at that auction level. We're providing the context and the layering of the optimization, and platforms can then optimize at auction level or whatever level is relevant to that particular platform. That makes it super effective. It does take some of that control away. So one of the examples I gave was we used to have, or we still have, a weather script where you can hook into their API, you can adjust bids based off of weather in a particular city, but now the smart bidding would technically take that into account. Google's model actually doesn't specifically have weather as one of the elements that feeds into it, but it will see performance changes and react to that. The value of that is much more than us saying, let's go 300% more or 100% less when there's this particular weather.
And in terms of things that I think you mentioned we've been exploring around kind of lifetime value models, can you give us a little insight to that?
With something like BigQuery, we can actually create a map of all the users that we've seen over a particular period. We can create lifetime value model, which is either based off of that whole period, or you can create 90-day windows and say what's the value over that period. And then you can start adding AI models such as linear regression models, logical regression models, and say, let's start scoring users as they come in and the likelihood of them becoming high value customers. So you can both use the data to say what channels are driving us high lifetime value customers. You can also say what channels are currently driving customers that appear to be high scoring.
And broadly speaking, what are you seeing from a performance perspective for clients that are embracing, and I say clients, the work we're doing with clients to embrace sort of AI approaches to these things? Are we seeing positive outcomes at the moment?
In some ways it is early days. It's also everything that was once machine learning is now just referred to as AI. Machine learning is just a subset of AI. So it is a development. There is so much more to come, I think. I think as AI starts building in the ability to talk between agents and create agents of different levels of expertise, and it can go off and it can use each of those different models to come and bring analysis. That insight that is going to come from that is going to be huge. Platforms like Google, Facebook, they are doing that. You don't see exactly what's happening there, but they are already doing that. We can now also do that on our side for the analysis.
And actually, one of those things that I find quite interesting and exciting in terms of where AI is taking the sort of the world of data is that sort of access to information. So you can use natural language to ask questions about performance. That feels like that's quite exciting and something you've been doing quite a lot of as well.
Yeah, so we've been doing a couple of projects with DataGPT, which is exactly that. There's lots of other ways of getting to that same output. DataGPT is just a really good example of how you can very easily put that together, with the idea of making it much easier for business users to be able to just use natural language, go and ask questions. You can train it on the kind of questions in the kind of language that your business uses as well. So it takes it from the I need to understand how platforms work to I just need to know how my business works, and business questions are important to me in the business.
And do you think that makes it sort of more accessible for people?
I mean, again, being able to use your own language language to put things in will make it 100 times easier. There is still a learning curve, and there's still a level of data maturity that comes with that. You need to be a business that is embracing using that data to make change. You need to have the time to make sure that you are putting the right data into AI and feeding it the context in the back end so that those business users find it easier. Still a few stepping stones along the way, but yes, it makes it much easier for anybody to get involved and start some questions.
Well, there we go. Those are the key things that are happening. And again, if you'd like the content here, do check out our socials and our website. You can find out more, and we'll see you again next time.